Okay, so as it stands, there's no way I couldn't see First Man. The big IMAX screen. So, nobody's in here? Making sure I'm not embarrassing myself. Actually, quite a few people lined up mostly in the center. Best view, of course. I'm excited, man. This could easily crack my top 3 of the year, which I'm excited to do at the end of the year, so I won't say if it does in the video, but you'll see at the end of the year. It likely will. I'm super excited. So yeah, I got food and such, and I'm gonna enjoy First Man in IMAX, the lunar sequence, full aspect ratio. Super excited. See you after. Okay. That was quite the experience. I'm gonna pick it up back at home. Just a lot to say about the film, for sure. So I'm gonna keep it as cohesive as possible. And I hope you guys enjoy. So see you in a second. Okay, I returned home. I had to change my shirt because of the green screen, which will be in effect as of now. So First Man is, as I said, an experience for sure. It's very emotionally driven. There's a lot of different factors. You're following the life of Neil Armstrong, and I always view a film that, honestly, I know it's definitely one of the best for me if it can evict emotion from myself, especially like sadness. If I'm crying, the film has done its job, and it does it in the first few minutes of the film alone, let alone the continuous wonder just presented of space. And like as soon as you get the taste of how space is going to be, just the wonder of it that you sense also in Neil Armstrong, it really impacts you emotionally, and you really feel a sense of accomplishment by the time they actually do get to the moon, because you're with them through every failure, again and again. Like just the number of setbacks and utter failures. It's just such a powerful moment when they finally do succeed and they get to the moon, which is an incredible experience, by the way. In IMAX, you leave the craft that they land on the moon, and the camera gets sucked out of the door as if it's being sucked out with all the oxygen sound, because as soon as it gets out there, all the sound cuts out because you are in space, and as soon as it does, the screen, boom, expands, and your full view is just on the moon and the emptiness of space. You could barely even see the stars. It's just the brightness on the moon, and it's just an incredible experience that is definitely earned by the end when you get there. Following Neil was interesting. Buzz Aldrin is in the movie a little bit, and he's portrayed very much like a douchebag, honestly. He's just, he's not playing with everybody's emotions in the scenes that he's in. He's just, being a real jerk, in the sense that this is not the time or place to be saying these sorts of things. And it's interesting. Now, I don't know necessarily how Buzz Aldrin was in real life. I don't know how Neil Armstrong was in real life. because this story does play up the sympathy of Neil Armstrong and his life and everything he goes through, and his family, how his family deals with the fact that he's going onto this mission. And you can see it like bearing down on his wife again and again with every failure. And yes, we do know that from history we've had aircrafts explode with people on them and there were casualties. And when Armstrong's wife hears about these every time, I mean, Neil himself is also taking it awful because he knew those men. And his wife is taking this awful because she knows that this could potentially happen to Neil himself. And it is very just on edge, unnerving every time there is a setback and delay, which is why it's so much more of a reward when you do finally see them get to the moon. And it's an incredible journey. Of course, this film is fantastic for a number of reasons, and it's definitely going to sweep the award season. Especially, I feel like for me, one of my favorite things that I look forward in a film, what I think is the best of the film that invokes the most emotion other than the actor's performance, is the score, the musical score, the composition. And this film, when it's first starting out, I was like, okay, it's alright, but then you just fall into like the setting of the time and just the way it goes and the beats and just the way it's composed and the different scenes in space, and you just feel wow, like it works incredibly well. And it's just like such a beautiful score that I want to just listen to it here at home, and I think that's a good sign that it's a good score. When I'm done with the movie and I want to just like work on stuff, and I was like, you know, let's put on the soundtrack for First Man, I think that's a big accomplishment. Seriously, guys, this movie, it's long. It is long. Can you feel that at times? Maybe just for me, because I was tired. I woke up pretty early in the day, and I saw this in the evening. First showing at 7 o'clock, sure, but I just went through the entire day, and sitting and committing to this dramatic story that is entertaining for 2 hours and 21 minutes straight, it's something you're gonna have to settle in for. I personally don't mind long movies. Like I said, I felt tired just because of how my day went. That's not the fault of the movie. The movie was great. I think it had very well done pacing. Like, you move through time from, I think you start in like 1962 and you're getting to the launch date of 1969, and you continue onward and onward. And by the time you do finally get there, it doesn't feel like it dragged, but it also didn't feel like it skipped. I felt like the way they did it was a perfect blend of just the moving through different things. Of course, there are time jumps, for sure, but it didn't bother me whatsoever. There is a bit of shakiness with the camera, which I know always is bad for Hollywood, but I think it actually adds a layer to the film of putting yourself in the shoes of the astronauts, because it's never like a big action set. It's not like when you see like in a Zack Snyder film where it's like out of focus, like out in the background, and you see a ship go by and then you zoom in and then it focuses. No, this, which I like Zack Snyder. I like his camera work sometimes. I'm not getting into all that. What I'm getting into here is that you'll be in the cockpit every time with the astronauts, and it's just majorly shaking. Just like the camera moves a lot, and also the brightness of the sun taken into effect. When you're sitting in a dark theater and you have blinding white light hitting you like back and forth, going from like darkness to brightness, like when like the shuttle's spinning or something, or just like major amounts of turbulence, and you're like shaking around, and it's really intense. But I do feel like it adds to it. So just a warning, if you're maybe if you're prone to motion sickness, you may be really put off by it. Just anticipate it, and I think you'll be okay. Like I said, I think it adds to the overall experience of it, which I do have to stress again. If you have the ability to go see this movie in IMAX, I do believe you should. It doesn't pick up into the IMAX lunar sequence until the end of the film, and as I said, it is 2 hours 21 minutes. But I do feel like even just for like the scale of this movie and just like the build up and the journey. Seeing it on the largest screen possible is always a plus and definitely something you should do. So yeah, I really enjoyed First Man. I don't know yet if it cracked my top 3. Maybe it's in my top 4. I don't know. I'm gonna have to like really think about this one because, like I said, I was tired, and I'm gonna have to keep thinking about it until I finally put it on a place. But I can tell you for one thing, it was not awful, and it was really good. It just with the experience in space, I feel like Damien, Chazelle, I think that's not his name. Maybe it is. I'm tired, like I said. But I feel like he did for space what Christopher Nolan was able to accomplish with the horrors of war with Dunkirk. That's how I'm interpreting this. And seriously, Ryan Gosling did a phenomenal job. A lot of the different actors. Claire Foy was great. Jason Clarke did an excellent job. Corey Stoll played Buzz Aldrin. He wasn't in it much, but when he was, it's good stuff. Like, everybody did a good job. I'm sure Ryan Gosling is going to be up for Best Actor. And you'll see why, like I said, in the first 5-10 minutes alone. Like, he's so good. He's great, man. He's not just, and we all know this now, like, he's not just the guy who was in The Notebook. No, this is, an actor who has proven himself, and he just does wonders. So, guys, make sure you go see First Man. And if you have already, why don't you guys tell me what you thought about it, your experience, your connection with the moon landing, whether or not you think it's fake or not. I don't. And also, for the record, that bogus article going around saying, like, oh, they emitted the flag on the moon in the movie. It's not happening. It's there. You didn't even see the film. You're just piggybacking off articles. People at one of the international film festivals, people screened it, already saw it. Yeah, the flag is there on the moon. It's there. Don't worry. It's not... Now, yes, it is a huge accomplishment for America, but for this film, you have to understand, this is not following the huge achievement of America. This is following the massive journey to space to overcome it, yes, while also following the experience that Neil Armstrong is going through. It's his story. It's not the story of the accomplishment of the moon, kind of, but it's not... Your center focus is not the moon, it's the man getting to the moon. This is not the moon, this is First Man. Keep that in mind, and with that being said, guys, I'm going to leave it off here. So, yeah, if you enjoyed this review, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already, and that being said, I hope you have a great day. May the Force be with you, always.